Control. And I'll just tell you guys right up front, we're talking about pride versus humility tonight. And I mean, you guys might have some idea of pride and humility already, but just for fun, I want you guys to close your eyes. Don't worry, nothing's going to happen to you. Just close your eyes. I'm going to try and paint a mental picture for you. So see if you can catch this. All right, imagine that you're a part of an elite group. You guys are the top of the social chain. This is like the spot to be. You're well respected. You have authority over people. You're a keeper of a code, and that code we're going to call the law. And this law has hundreds of statutes to it. And you're in charge of keeping that law. And you follow it yourself very publicly. You make sure that everybody sees you doing it, because obviously if I'm going to enforce the law, I need to show people how to do it right, very publicly. And that leads me to my last point, that you're the enforcer of this law. You are in charge, and that ability to enforce and show people what they're supposed to do, that gives you your status. And you're in the eyes of everybody, right? And there's a lot of pride that can come with that. Now, for some of us, that's kind of hard to imagine, maybe that's not where you see yourself. Like, I'd much rather be in the background, thank you very much, I don't want everybody looking at me. But for this guy named Saul, that wasn't the case. He liked being in the spotlight. He liked being the man. Saul was the man. In fact, he was considered very well respected in this group. So I mean, if you're the elite group, if you're at the top of the food chain, the social food chain, to be near the top there, everybody's looking at you, and not just the public, but your own circle is looking to you. What are you going to do? There's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders there, but I feel like there's also going to be a lot of pride that comes through. And I think Saul felt the same way, because he actually describes himself like this. He says, circumcised on the 8th day. This was like a physical expression that, like, hey, I am a chosen person. Like, I am the guy, right? Of the people of Israel. So I'm part of the elite nation. And of that elite nation, I'm of the tribe of Benjamin. This was like a priestly tribe. You had to have been born right in order to be in this. This is not something that you can luck into. This is not something you can work towards. If you're born of that priestly tribe, you are the man. This is a big deal. And he goes on to say he's a Hebrew of Hebrews. He's a man's man. He is the guy. And I can just imagine Paul almost saying, like, going from that, like trying to talk in like the third person, like, that Saul guy in regards to the law, the Pharisee, just puffed up, right? As for zeal, persecuting the church. Like, just, you can kind of feel like just the pride dripping from his statements. He says, as for righteousness based on the law, faultless. Check my rap sheet. Nothing. Just drop the mic. I'm your guy. This is Saul. And maybe that's what it looks like for you. Maybe you're the one that likes to be in the spotlight. You like to have everybody looking to you. Maybe you're the one that's like, you love it when somebody comes to you. You're the man. You go, girl. Right? You're that attention seeking. You want that praise, right? I'm the best. You want other people to know it. So you go around bragging and saying, like, I throw a football way better than you. Yeah, well, I catch it way better than you. So what? And we keep competing. It's in everything, in business, in our grades. We want to be valedictorian, top of the class. We want to be the best at our art, or our music, or our writing. We want to be the best gamer out there. We want to be the best makeup artist. We want to be the best of whatever we choose to be. And it carries on. When you're in school, it's very true, and you can see it just when you walk down the halls, right? But then you get out of school, and you get into the workplace. And maybe some of you are experiencing this already. You have your part-time job, and you've been working there through high school, and you finally kind of banked enough respect that they're like, hey, we're going to make you assistant manager. And you're like, yeah, I'm no longer getting orders barked at me. Hey, all of you, go mop the bathroom. Like, that's We like this status. We like to get to this place of pride. And I'm not saying that being ambitious and going after something better than your current position is a bad thing. It's when pride grips it that it goes from a good driving force to something that's consuming you. It's taking you over instead of you being over it. And I gotta feel like, before I get too ahead of myself here, some of us, I'm kind of more in this group, I feel like we don't like to seek that praise outwardly, like, you know what I mean, where I gotta go and tell you how good I am. It's more of like I'm not good at that. I'm really terrible at speaking to you guys. I don't really, know what I'm doing. And you're fishing for that compliment. You want somebody to come and be like, no, you're awesome, you do a great job. You're incredible at what you do. And you're like, no, and you try and act all bashful and whatever, and inside you're like, heck yes I am. And we all fall into this trap in one way or another, in one area of life or another. And Paul was no different. He's persecuting the church. He's going after these people. And God literally comes and intersects him where he's at. He stops his donkey in the tracks, knocks him off. And here's your 10-second overview of Saul becoming Paul, right? Knocks him off his donkey. He's like, who are you, Lord? And the Lord's like, you're persecuting me. And so he goes blind, and then he meets a Christian in the next town, and the Christian comes and prays for him, says, you're going to go and you're going to carry on this church for the very same God that you've been persecuting. So the blindness is over. He takes off, goes around, planting a bunch of churches, and he starts writing letters to the churches, and that's how we get a good portion of the New Testament today. Cool? We're all caught up. This is Paul. He's no longer Saul. Something has changed in him. The same guy that's boasting about being a Hebrew of Hebrews writes this a little later on to the church in Philippi. And you can find it in the 2nd chapter of Philippians in the New Testament of your Bible. Picking up at verse 3, it says this: Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself, not looking to your own interests, but each one of you to the interest of others. And this is quite the change from somebody who's like, I'm the guy, to everybody else first. It's going from the food gets set out and you're on it to you guys go grab a plate. I'll take what's left over. This is a big transformation. How do we accomplish that? And I like how Paul just very, quickly drops a line to kind of explain it to us. Like we're gonna, be able to figure it out just from this little bit. He says this in the very next sentence: in your relationships with one another, have the same mindset as Christ Jesus. Oh, okay, so just be like God. Be like God, the guy who created everything. Let's just be like him. Okay, cool. That's all I needed, Paul. Thanks. So I had to stop. I had to look. What does it look like to have the same mindset as Jesus? And I started to think about that social ladder. Here is the God who is described as the Most High. He's up here. And he says, you guys can't do it. You can't meet me where I'm at. So he comes down to our level. And then he goes a step further. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna really show you what humility looks like, what love looks like for you. And he goes even lower. He comes in as a carpenter, as a commoner. He's not coming in as royalty. He's not coming in as this big presence. He comes in humbly. And then he takes himself even further and he says, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. And if you believe in me, you're going to inherit eternity in heaven with me. And the only way you're going to do that is if I die for your sins. And now he's way down here. And what happens? He does die. He takes it on. He breaks the gates of hell. And when he comes up back to his position, he drags all of us with him. That's what it looks like. The one who had the authority to come in and say, I'm the best, comes in and says, follow me. Very quietly, very humbly, shows up and takes us from where we're at on the road and transforms us completely. And I started to think about this What would happen if we put away our Pharisee lives, the ones that are seeking for that pride, that are seeking for that authority, that we want all the attention, and started chasing a life like Jesus taught? What would that look like? What would change if we decided to say, instead of me first, we said, I will put God and others before myself? I think you guys would see a radical shift just in your school, just with the people around you. If you started saying, I'm going to put your needs first. I'm going to take you and elevate you. Yeah, I might be good at art, but that picture you drew that one time, that was amazing. That football that you were practicing so hard over the summer to throw, why don't you run this play? I know you've been working really hard. Why don't you let me help you study for this test coming up so that you can continue to get that 4.0? What would it look like if you got into that position at your job and you said, I'm going to lead you guys by example, and instead of ordering other people to do these menial tasks that no one wants to do, you picked up them up. And you started to serve humbly, and then the people around you start to see, wait, hold up, you just got a promotion. What are you doing cleaning the bathroom? What would that look like for you? So I want to challenge you guys to change your statement. Don't say me first. Say, I'm going to put God and others before myself. I think if we could all focus that way, we could focus on the life that Jesus taught us to live and come in with humility instead of pride, that you're going to see a transformation in your own life. Like Paul saw in his, and it was so extreme that God changed his name. He went from being someone else to the man that God called him to be. Would you guys take on that same challenge? Would you strive to be the person that God created you to be and serve Him and those around you with humility? We pray for you guys. God, I just thank you so much for everybody that's in this room tonight, Jesus. Lord, I pray that you would help us in this quest, because it's so hard to transform ourselves, God, to put others before us when we look at our own needs and say, what about me? God? And we know that without you, we're just going to fall flat on our faces, God. So I pray that you would start to interact with us where we're at, Jesus, that you would start to change our lives to reflect the life that you have planned for us, God. That we would start to serve you humbly and the people that you put around us humbly, just like you came for us in the ultimate sign of humility, being fully God and taking on humanity and dying for us so that we could live with you forever, God. And for those of us in the room tonight that don't know that truth yet, God, I pray that you would start to show up in our hearts tonight, God, not tomorrow, not somewhere down the road, God, tonight, that your light would start to shine inside of us, that we would see you start to move inside of us, God, that humility that seems so hard to grasp because we're so focused on ourselves and it's so ingrained in us in society, God, that we put ourselves first, Jesus, that we would see you shift us from the inside out, God, that we would want to put you first and we would want to put others ahead of ourselves. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.